Now I continue today in 1 Timothy chapter 3, and I've been looking at the qualifications of the bishop. This is a true saying: if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own home, a house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. The explanation for that is, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Now, when I finish dealing with the qualifications of the bishop, we'll move right on to verse number 8. Likewise must the deacons be grave. And I'll talk about that and explain what that means over time. On the radio yesterday, I was dealing with the matter of apt to teach. Apt to teach. Now, I pointed out that the ministry of a pastor and the ministry of an evangelist or a missionary are not entirely the same ministry or the same office. I have run into men that were pastors of churches that I think were much better suited to be an evangelist. And I've run into some men that were in evangelism, quote unquote, that I think truthfully were probably better suited and better fitted to serve as a pastor of a local church. And that is based upon the type of ministry they had, their labor in the Word and in doctrine, and the things that they were able to accomplish as far as the ministry is concerned. Paul did state that the pastor told this to Timothy, do the work of an evangelist. But nowhere does the Apostle Paul tell the pastor to be an evangelist. And this is my observation now. I don't pastor a church, and I don't fly any movement's flag. Truly, I'm a free man, and God's free man, and I can call balls and strikes as I see them. And I think that there are some men that are the pastors of churches in name only that are not doing the work of an evangelist. They are an evangelist. And I think at that particular point now, you either need to pastor your church or you need to resign your church and go on the road full time. Now, I'm a man, and I recognize the way men think. I happen to be one. And I wonder sometimes if some men are not pastoring a church so that they'll have something to fall back on. They'll have a way to pay their bills. They'll have an income. And they'll have a pulpit when they're not on the road preaching. They'll have a pulpit that they can preach in. They call that the pastorate. I facetiously have said this from time to time, that the only error I've ever found in a King James Bible, and I'm being facetious, I think the King James is a perfect document. I find no errors in the King James Bible. I'm trying to make a point. The only error I've ever found in the King James Bible is found in Ephesians and chapter number 4, and he gave some evangelist. My observation of the ministry has been that we have a lot of pastors that are swapping pulpits. And this pastor will go over and preach 3 nights for that pastor, and then in the fall that pastor come over and preach 3 nights for this pastor. And there are some pastors now, and again, I'm not mad at anybody but the devil, but the Lord has allowed me to be a free man. I mean, I don't have to pay my dues to any man